hit it.
Here's another issue that literally I just came across today. I want you to hear this story. This is from a polyamory discussion group that I'm on in Facebook. The partner who seemed to be stepping up from casual to more serious and also taking an interest in my kid had my kid in the car helping him do DoorDash to earn some money towards video games. Cool, right? Mm-hmm. Then I get a call from the police to come pick up my son. My now ex-boyfriend got arrested for DUI after getting in an accident and trying to leave the scene. Failed the field sobriety test. Never take the field sobriety test. Mm-hmm. Had wine in a water bottle that he was drinking in the car. My son is so upset. Yada, yada, yada. Blah, blah, blah. Relationship stuff. That's not what we came to talk about today. What we came to talk about today
is wine in a water bottle.
First off, that's a wild fucking adventure with a kid in the car.
That is a super wild adventure. That's a hell of a take, especially when it's not your kid.
What are some wild adventures? Because we're not really of the generation. Now, mind you, my generation, that shit would happen on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah,
before that generation,
you and my grandpa.
All our uncles and shit have a whole lot of stories like that. So I want to know some stories about adults doing wild shit with you as a kid, whether it be in a car, at a party somewhere, whatever, or at a house, something. Just adults forgetting how to adult when you're a fucking kid. In that moment. You think of one and I'll start. I remember my grandfather. I love my grandfather to death. I remember my grandfather one day stuck in traffic. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, he had too much water at the place where we were at before. Mm-hmm. And couldn't sit in traffic anymore. So he decided with his big ass brown Cadillac, mm-hmm. he had to go on the sidewalk to get around traffic. Mm-hmm. I thought it was fun.
That shit lit.
Until, I remember later my mother yelling at him for, "Don't you dare drive on the sidewalk with my son again." That was one of those dividing generation lines.
That happened to me before.
Yeah. And I also remember he had a truck, and he had like one of those beds in the back of the truck. Mm-hmm. And we all piled into the bed in the back of the truck.
Laying back there?
Playing.
I did that last year.
Fucking rolling around, surfing on the shit while he was driving.
I did that last year.
While he was driving.
Yeah, as an adult, I did that.
Like, no seatbelts. We were sitting on the little bumps where the wheels were. If we were sitting at all, we were just running all over the place in the back. Can we go in the truck? Because we wanted to go in the fucking bed of the truck. And he had a little camper like on the top, like the cover thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes too, and then sometimes he wouldn't, and we would go in the back like that, like just wild shit that you could never get away with today.
Can't even begin to think about getting away with today?
Absolutely not. You would be pulled over in 18 seconds. You would be pulled the fuck over.
Yeah, that's a little wild. One of the things I remember is me getting in the car with my grandmother, who I love to death, by the way. Same
Maddie?
Same type of setup. Lucas, what up? I remember driving with her in her car. And me getting in, you remember car doors used to be heavy as fuck.
Yes.
Right? So I closed the door, and she probably should have tell Brent, "Shut up, Trey." Hey, shut up, Brent. From Maddie.
Shut up, Trey.
No. He told me to tell you.
Shut up, Trey. Yeah, to shut up, Trey.
All right, that's fair. But no, I closed the door, right, and she goes to drive off, and we go around a corner, and thank God I put my seatbelt on, because that bitch swings open. We go around this fucking curb. My head is like I'm hanging by the fuck, like probably this far from the ground, just scratching my head up, or the door swinging back and chopping the fuck out of me.
Right.
And I was probably like, had to be like 5 or 6. I was young as shit, and I just remember her going around this corner, and that bitch popping open, her being like, and kind of snatching me up. I think is what she did. Like she just get your ass up here, and like, and I remember stopping me and like, oh fuck. That shit was terrifying. So her not closing the door herself was one of those instances. Now mind you, that's just a mistake, but nonetheless,
yeah,
that shit was terrifying.
Yeah.
Also with my grandmother, this was not a car instance, but I remember they had me. I was a baby. I'm crawling around on the floor and shit. I got this scar on my leg to this day. Crawling around on the floor and shit. They had an iron up on the stovetop, or not on the stovetop, on the counter.
Yeah.
I pulled a fucking cord course, the bitch landed flush on me. Lands right on my leg.
Like Home Alone.
Bro, to this day, right here, I got a fucking scar on my leg to this day.
Is it in the shape of an iron?
Yeah, it's just tiny iron now, which I don't understand, by the way. Somebody said, well, your skin gets bigger. And I was like, oh, yeah. But then I thought about it again. I was like, but wouldn't that make the bitch larger? Wouldn't you think that would be larger?
Well, the scar heals a little bit, too. I still have...
My shit ain't heal at all.
If you look in the right... It's still right there. I still have... From an iron... I reached. Oh, my mom had just finished iron. Like we were getting ready to go to school and work, and she had just finished ironing like her work blouse. And I reached over for something, some toothpaste or something. I don't give a shit. And fucking, it's hard to see depending on how light I may be, but it is right there. It's still a scar from that iron.
I got the whole
that
shit.
I'll never not have.
Shit on my leg. It is not even close. That shit.
But that was an accident. That wasn't wilding out. Like I'm talking. Like I remember. And we're not even talking about this, but you know some other wild shit. I've been in rooms with the adults that were in my life of various ages, and these were smoke-filled fucking rooms because everybody was smoking cigarettes in the house. They were smoking cigarettes all the fuck over the place, and it wasn't really until the 90s that they stopped smoking cigarettes in the house.
That wasn't a thing for my family. We didn't smoke because of the witness thing, so it wasn't something that was regular.
And my grandmother used to smoke a pipe in the house all the time.
And I remember this, and I'll say this to the death of me. My uncle was on one of our podcasts recently. It was our last podcast. That particular uncle, allegedly, that particular uncle took me and two of my cousins and trapped us in a closet and pushed a giant dresser in front of it.
He what?
Pushed a giant dresser.
No, before that, he
trapped us in a closet.
Trapped in the closet.
Pushed a giant dresser in front of it, and fucking left. He was joking,
hey,
right?
Babysitters are expensive.
But he was high. He got high.
And forgot you were in there?
He forgot we were in the fucking closet. We were sweating in this goddamn closet. Allegedly. Sweating in this goddamn closet.
The fucking statute of limitations is up, nigga.
This nigga locked us in a closet. Yo, we was so mad. Like, yo, what the fuck? I remember, yo, it felt like we was in there for like 10 years. It was so fucking hot. My cousin had a... Shouts to Monet. She about to have a kid. Yo, shouts to Mo. She had a...
She's still in the closet? She about to have a kid?
Hold on. Wait. She had a fucking curl that came down the front of her hair. Her mom and did, right?
Yep, I remember. Yep.
This
80s,
bitch
90s,
said, that shit just... By the time we got out the shit, it was planted to her face like this, dog. Yo, that was the wildest shit ever. Like, when our parents got back, the amount of hell this man went through because of that fuck up.
How did you get out of the closet?
He let us out.
Oh,
or they let us out. I don't remember who let us out. Honestly, I think we fell asleep. We was so like lack of oxygen.
I was gonna say oxygen deprived is what allegedly. You were. You were unconscious, nigga. That's a sleep, but that's not a sleep.
That shit was brutal.
That's sleep, but not sleep.
No, we was like, oh my god, we gotta get out of here. We gotta get this closet to our own. Some motherfucking dog. We pushing this shit. Oh my god, this shit is terrible.
Could you move the dresser at all?
This shit was
like it wasn't even like wobbling or anything.
Okay, so it would be like the equivalent of this washer beside us, right? If you put this shit in front of, say, that door, and you lock kids inside of it.
Yeah, they're not getting out.
First off, as an adult, it's gonna be tough. The only way I'm getting through that if you put this bottom heavy shit in front of the door is if I bust through the top. You gotta
put all your effort in.
And it's gonna have to be the top. I'm gonna have to bust through that motherfucker, right? You can't do that as no fucking kid. Yeah. You can't bust through that shit. So we sitting in there just, oh god, it was dark. It was 3 of us. Man, that shit was fucking horrible.
So yeah, wild times.
That was they trying to kill me for my story? Is that what's happening?
That's your uncle. He's protecting the family crest.
Don't do that. He'll come for your ass. Right? You heard it. You heard it here first. That motherfucker on your ass. Don't play.
The family shield. He's protecting the family shield.
But nah, for real, that shit was crazy. That's the one that I remember as a kid for real. Where I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, that's one of the craziest things you could do. Like, I would never put a kid in a fucking closet.
He was high.
He was high after. He just forgot because he was high. He put us in there before he was high, allegedly. I think the statute of limitations is up too, but allegedly, nonetheless. I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? You a crazy son of a bitch.
Most statutes of limitation are about, I thought it was 7, but unless it's murder,
Oh, okay.
then yeah.
Murder's forever.
I think even attempted murder is only like maybe 10,
I
15
thought murder was
years,
forever.
like
I thought that was the...
Murder is forever.
Okay, yeah.
Everything else, I think even attempted is not forever. I think attempted is longer than everything else. But
Bro, we was in the closet for 11 years. That shit was horrible.
That explains a lot. I'm learning more and more about you on this podcast. You're oxygen deprived for hours in that closet. That explains a whole lot.
Fuck you, bro.
That explains a whole lot. I'm learning a lot more.
I'm not talking to your stupid
That
ass
explains
anymore.
that everything's coming to light now.
Where can they find us, Brent?
Everything's coming to light.
How did we even get here? Cause I swear I don't recognize shit here.